India's restraint-filled batting approach did not pay dividends as they were bowled out for 185 after opting to bat on a green top in Sydney. Scott Boland was the most successful of the Australian bowlers, picking up figures of 4-31 with his metronomic lines and lengths accentuated by the seam movement that the surface had on offer. India had their moment in the sun when Jasprit Bumrah got Usman Khawaja, for the sixth time in the series, nicking behind after verbal exchange with non-striker Sam Consters. The dramatic end gave India some joy on an otherwise tough day out with the bat. There were testing questions to be asked of India right from the start when Bumrah walked out for the toss instead of Rohit Sharma. The pacer, who had led India in Perth, mentioned that Rohit had opted to rest for this match, and proceeded to put his batters up for tough questioning. KL Rahul, who moved back to the top in Rohit's absence, began watchfully along with Yashasvi Jaiswal as the conditions demanded and remained tight in defence and in the corridor outside off to begin with. But against the run of play, Rahul flicked a leg stump half volley from Mitchell Starc straight into the hands of square leg, pushing India behind. Jaiswal tried to counter Scott Boland's relentless lines and lengths by walking towards the bowler, but ended up nicking one into the hands of debutant Bo Webster in the slip cordon. Boland nearly did an encore with Virat Kohli nicking the first ball he faced to the right of Steve Smith, who got fingers underneath and pushed it to Webster to the right of him. But replays appeared to show that the ball might have touched the ground as Smith was doing his acrobatic effort. Third umpire Joel Wilson ruled this in Kohli's favour. With that slice of luck, the out-of-form senior batter pushed ahead with much of the discipline he had showcased in the first innings at Melbourne. Pat Cummins used his 4 frontline pace options in short spells, and each of them posed tough questions, giving little in terms of scoring options for both Kohli and Shubman Gill, who was back to his number 3 spot. Gill had some close shaves with an inside edge missing the stumps and another outside edge flying over the cordon. But he too, like Kohli, was intent on minimizing the unforced errors for large part of the 40-run partnership of 106 balls. But at the stroke of lunch, he danced down to Nathan Lyon and nicked to slip, pushing India further back. Kohli's vigil did not last too long either, for he poked outside off and was out caught in the slip cordon for the 7th time in the series. The metronomic Boland could have had Ravindra Jadeja early as well if not for a dropped catch by Smith. At the other end, an uncharacteristically orthodox Rishabh Pant copped several blows on the body but did not attempt anything out of the ordinary in a fighting knock. With the Australian paces offering no freebies, Pant's boundary opportunity had to be manufactured when he danced down the ground and struck Webster down the ground for a 6. A hit off a short ball from Lyon at the stroke of tea gave him another boundary in an otherwise grind, which eventually ended in the final session when he miscued a pull off Boland to mid-wicket. No sooner had he walked off berating himself on the way back that he was joined by Nitish Reddy, who was caught in the slip cordon first ball. Ravindra Jadeja, who had fought his way to a 95 ball 26, then played across to Starc to be caught plumb in front. Washington Sundar hit a couple of welcome boundaries before he was adjudged to have gloved his attempted pull by the third umpire on Australia's review, leaving the lower order to carry on the fight. Bumrah swung his bat to get to 22 before he became the last man dismissed. It continued India's poor run of scores in the first innings of tests, being bowled out in less than 80 overs for the 7th time in the last 8 tests. Brief scores: India 185, Rishabh Pant 40, Shubman Gill 20, Scott Boland 4-31, lead Australia 9 over 1, Jasprit Bumrah 1-7, by 176 runs.